past that diner on 4th and Main, the one where we'd hide from the summer rain. I saw a couple in our corner booth, and it hit me harder than the cold hard truth. They were laughing at something I couldn't hear, while I was outside just shifting my gear. The neon sign flickered a pale shade of blue, highlighting the space where I once had you. The city looks the same, the streets haven't changed, but every landmark has been rearranged. The now turned to then with the turn of a key, and I'm drowning in what we no longer can be. We became a used to be, a story on a shelf, a version of us I can't explain to myself. We used to be forever, we used to be the one. Now we're just a shadow when the day is done. From we're going places to I'm going alone, to a name I don't call on a silent phone. It's the heaviest weight I've ever had to carry, watching always turn into I used to be. Your sweater is buried at the back of the drawer. It doesn't feel like it belongs here anymore. I find myself starting to say your name, then I catch my breath and I feel the shame. We're a collection of remember whens, of broken promises and just be friends. But how do I walk past a ghost on the street and act like our hearts didn't skip the same beat? There's no funeral for love that dies, just a slow fading light in each other's eyes. No black tie service, no flowers in a row, just the quiet terror of letting you go. We're a once, we're a had, we're a long time ago, a movie I've seen but don't wanna know. We became a used to be, a story on a shelf, a version of us I can't explain to myself. We used to be forever, we used to be the one. Now we're just a shadow when the day is done. From we're going places to I'm going alone, to a name I don't call on a silent phone. It's the heaviest weight I've ever had to carry, watching always turn into I used to be. Once we were is, once we were are. Now we're just a flickering distant star. I'm still here, but we're a used to be. Yeah, we're just a used to be. The street is painted in a soft electric glow. I'm sitting on the porch swing, moving steady, moving slow. Across the way, the Millers finally turned off the TV. They're heading up to bed, a domestic symphony. I see the kitchen window fade to black in number 4. I hear the muffled click of someone locking up their door. It's the rhythm of a life that I don't recognize tonight. Just a series of departures from the comfort of the light. The stars are getting sharper as the houses lose their gold, and the air around me's turning into something thin and cold. I'm the only one still waking, I'm the only one awake, counting every second that it takes for a heart to break. And I'm watching the neighbors' lights go out one by one, the final little victories of another day that's done. They got a hand to hold in the dark beneath the sheets, while I'm just a shadow on these quiet, empty streets. Every darkened window is a home where love can sleep. Well, I've got all these promises I didn't get to keep. The world is tucking in while I'm still drifting south, just watching the neighbors' lights go out. There goes the porch lamp over at old Mr. Lane's, leaving nothing but the moonlight and the silver window panes. I remember when our light was the last one on the block, tangled in the covers, ignoring the ticking of the clock. We were the glow that people saw when they were driving home. Now I'm just a silhouette, a king without a throne. The darkness isn't peaceful when it's all you have to wear. It's just a heavy curtain over a room that's standing bare. If I stay here long enough, will the sun come back to save? Or am I just a mourner standing at an open grave? I'm waiting for a signal, for a lamp to flicker on, but the neighborhood is sleeping and you're already gone. And I'm watching the neighbors' lights go out one by one, the final little victories of another day that's done. They've got a hand to hold in the dark beneath the sheets, while I'm just a shadow on these quiet, empty streets. Every darkened window is a home where love can sleep. Well, I've got all these promises I didn't get to keep. The world is sucking in while I'm still drifting south, just watching the neighbors' lights go out. The street is silent now, just the crickets and the wind. I'm looking at our window where the tragedy began. Our house is the darkest one, the coldest one of all. just a hollow box of shadows leaning up against the wall. One by one, into the black, and the lights, they aren't coming back. The subway doors slide open with a heavy metallic sigh. 1,000 faces blur into a gray and rushing sky. Everyone's got somewhere that they're desperate to go, but I'm anchored to the pavement while the city starts to flow. I'm checking my reflection in a dark shop window pane, looking for the person that you left out in the rain. My shoulders getting bumped by a world that doesn't care, that I'm reaching for a ghost who isn't standing there. They say the world keeps spinning when a heart begins to break, but I can't find the rhythm and I can't find the break. I'm a photograph frozen while the film starts to run, the only piece of winter in the middle of the sun. And I'm standing still in a moving crowd. The silence in my chest is getting way too loud. Everybody's walking like they've got a plan, while I'm losing the grip on the palm of your hand. It's a fast-forward world and a slow-motion me, caught in the wake of where we used to be. Yeah, the current is strong and the voices are proud, but I'm standing still in a moving crowd. Turns green and the sea of coats begins to surge. I'm fighting off the panic and the suffocating urge to scream out your name just to see if you'll turn around. But the sound of my heartbeat is the only thing I've found. I see a girl with your hair, I see a man with your stride, but it's just the city playing tricks on the hollow inside. I'm a statue made of salt, I'm a pillar made of stone. In a million-person city, I have never been this alone. Don't they see the wreckage? Don't they see the debris? Don't they know that half of my soul just quit on me? Move around me like a rock in the middle of a stream. I'm the only one awake in a high-speed dream. I'm just waiting for the moment I remember how to move, but I'm stuck in the rhythm of a heart-shaped groove. And I'm standing still in a moving crowd. The silence in my chest is getting way too loud. Everybody's walking like they've got a plan, while I'm losing the grip on the palm of your hand. It's a fast-forward world and a slow-motion me, caught in the wake of where we used to be. Yeah, the current is strong and the voices are proud, but I'm standing still in a moving crowd. waiting for the leaving you to finally be done. One step, maybe two, but I'm still standing here, just waiting for you. In the moving crowd, sound the distant traffic fades to a single heartbeat. The hallway is a canyon of the things we didn't say. I'm shivering in a sweater that still smells like yesterday. We gathered up the blueprints, the plans in every vow, and piled them in the center of the room we're leaving now. You struck the match so quietly, I didn't feel the sting, until the smoke started choking every song we used to sing. Now we're standing in ashes of the bridges we burned for warmth, just to keep from feeling frozen in the shadow of the storm. It's a hollow kind of comfort, it's a desperate kind of lie, trading everything we built just to survive another night. Now the fire's dying out, and there's nowhere left to go, just two strangers in the winter, standing in the snow. Do you remember when we laid the stones and swore they'd never shake? How we promised that the heavy tides were never gonna break. But the kitchen got so quiet, and the bed grew far too wide, and we grew tired of the fighting, so we let the cold inside. We tore the rafters down for kindling, we ripped the floorboards up, drinking bitter desperation from a cracked and empty cup. Yeah, we're standing in the it's cold again, and I'm still shivering. Bridges we burn just to feel anything. You used to whisper like a secret or a sacred vow, but always is a word that feels like a weapon to me now. I'm walking through the ruins of the plans we used to make, counting all the pieces of the promises you'd break. The calendar is lying, it says the world is moving on, but I'm still standing in the minute after you're gone. They say time is a healer, but time is just a thief, stealing every reason why I should find some relief. The forever that you gave me had an expiration date, and I'm left holding on to where a second far too late. And this is the aftermath of always, the wreckage of the ever, the cold and quiet sealing of the ties we had to sever. It's the ringing in my ears when I try to speak your name. It's the way the sun keeps rising while I'm drowning in the rain. Always was a mountain, but now it's just a stone weighted in my pocket as I walk this path alone. A beautiful deception, a shadow on the wall. The aftermath of always is the hardest part of the fall. The ink is drying on the pages of the life we didn't live. I gave you every ounce of grace I had within to give. Now I'm checking all the locks on a house that isn't home, tracing every I love you into the cold and gray and chrome. You said you'd never leave, said the stars would lose their light, but the stars are still up there, and you're nowhere in my sight. It's the never again that's hurting the most, living in a hallway with a silver-tongued ghost. You traded infinity for a maybe and a no, and left me in the garden where you promised things would grow. But the soil is made of salt, and the roots are turned to lead. I'm starving for the words that you finally went and said. hardest part of the fall. It's such a heavy word for a heart that's bound to break. It's the last mistake I'll ever let you make. Just an echo in the hallway, just a ghost beside the bed. The aftermath of always is everything we never said. The tape dispenser screaming in the kitchen down the hall, leaving rectangular ghosts against the patterns on the wall. I found your favorite sweater behind the bedroom door. It still smells like the coffee and the dreams we had before. I'm sorting through the years like they're just items on a list, but my hands start shaking at the things I know I'll miss. The bedroom's echo is getting too loud. Our future's just a shadow lost inside a storm cloud. I'm moving out, or I'm moving on, but I'm stuck in the space between here and gone. And I'm surrounded by these half-packed boxes on the floor. One foot in the hallway, and one stuck in the door. I can't decide what's worth the weight of carrying away, and what's just a memory that's destined to decay. It's a heavy kind of empty, a messy kind of grief, when the goodbye is a mountain and the stay is a relief. Yeah, I'm living in the wreckage of a life we couldn't save, with half-packed boxes and a heart I never gave. There's a stack of yours and a pile of mine across the road, but how do I divide the way we used to kiss and hug? I'm labeling the cardboard so I know where things belong, but there's no box big enough for when everything went wrong. I pick up the ceramic bowl we bought in Monterey. It's cracked right down the middle, just like us today. Do I take the photos where we're laughing in the rain, or leave them here to feed the dust and dampen all the pain? If I seal the lid, does house is getting smaller with every light I flick. The silence in the hallway is getting kinda thick. I'll leave the keys on the counter, I'll leave the rest for the floor, because I can't pack the way I loved you. Not anymore. No, not anymore. I'm standing in the hallway of the home we used to be, staring at the silhouettes of you and me. The coffee's getting cold, just like the way you say my name. We're playing parts in a story that's no longer in the frame. I try to hold the bridge up while the wood began to rot, searching for the person that I loved and then forgot. There's no clean break, no sudden snap, just the heavy weight of a closing trap. I'm trying to leave, but I'm dragging the ghost of the version of you that I needed the most. Now I'm cutting ties with a dull and rusted blade, trying to do every promise that we made. It doesn't hurt at once, it's a slow jagged tear, breath by breath, losing all the oxygen in the air. A clean cut heals, but this one just burns, falling out of love in agonizing turns. I'm losing my mind and I'm losing my grace, cutting ties with a dull blade I can't replace. You're sitting on the sofa, looking through me like a window. I'm screaming in the silence, but the fire's just an ember. We don't even argue, we just drift a little further, watching something beautiful commit a quiet murder. I wanna hate you to make the ending fast, but I'm haunted by the echoes of a light that couldn't last. The friction creates a heat I can't stand, sawing through the rope with a trembling hand. It's messy and it's bitter and it's taken too long to admit that where I'm standing is where I don't belong. Every jagged edge is a memory I save as I dig the final inches of the shallow, lonely grave. Trying a slow erosion, a quiet, hollow, cold explosion. One more pull, one more fray. God, I'm still here, but you're already away. The coffee still sitting on your side of the bed, cold as the words that we left both unsaid. The floorboards don't creak like they did yesterday. Even the shadows have shifted away. I thought that the silence would give me some room to breathe through the dust and the ghost of your bloom. But the air in this hallway is heavy and thick, and the ticking of clocks makes me physically sick. They say grief is a mountain that's easy to climb, but I'm stuck in the valley and running out of time. It's not what you took when you walked out the door. It's the gravity pulling me down to the floor. It's the weight of your absence. It's crushing my chest like a stone in my pocket that won't let me rest. It's the space in the closet, the gap in the air, the phantom of us that I see everywhere. I'm carrying shadows I can't even see, the ghost of the person you wanted from me. It's heavy, it's hollow, it's breaking my bones. The weight of your absence, leaving me alone. I went to the market to buy things for one, but I ended up grabbing the things you'd have done. That brand of Earl Grey that you liked when it rained, the honey, the lemons, the habit remains. I'm dragging my feet through the aisles of our life. The edge of your memory is sharp as a knife. I'm physically tired from holding the ghost of the person I think that I'm missing the most. It's the weight of your absence. It's crushing my chest like a stone in my pocket that won't let me rest. It's the space in the closet, the gap in the air, the phantom of us that I see everywhere. I'm carrying shadows I can't even see, the ghost of the person you wanted from me. It's heavy, it's hollow, it's breaking my bones. The weight of your absence, leaving me alone. Oh, if I move all the furniture, will I feel light? If I paint over colors, will I sleep through the night? But the floor holds the memory of is more than I can carry. I found the journal in the bottom drawer, the one we promised we'd fill till we were old and gray. Page 1 is a sunrise, a promise of more, back when forever was a word we'd just say. But the rain started falling inside of this room, and I'm holding the pen like a weapon of grief. The memories of us are beginning to bloom into shadows of shadows beyond all belief. Now I'm smearing the ink on a story, watching the I love yous turn into gray, washing away all the grace and the glory of the life that we built, then we threw it away. Every tear is a river where our names go to drown. I'm blurring the lines till the truth can't be found. I'm smearing the ink 'cause it hurts just to read that you need everything I'd ever need. The chapter on Vegas is a purple blue stain. The night on the pier is a charcoal dark blot. I'm trying to smudge out the sound of your name and erase every always that you just forgot. My thumbs turn to black from the weight of the script, tracing the curves of the plans that we made. The page is so heavy, the paper is ripped, just like the heart that I willfully gave. If I make it messy enough, maybe I won't see the ghost of the person you used to be. If the ink runs together, the ending might change, and we'll just be strangers and not something watching reflecting my age, smearing the ink until it's just black, like the space where you were. I'm sitting in the booth where we used to park, watching the streetlights flicker in the dark. The waitress left the check by my cold coffee cup, and I'm staring at the total, afraid to look up. It's just a piece of paper, thin and pale, the final chapter of a tragic tale. One burger, one shake, and a side of regret for a night I'm trying so hard to forget. The ink is starting to run in blue, in the exact spot I used to look at you. My vision blurs and the world moves slow, and I've got nowhere left to go. Now there's tears on a receipt for a dinner for two, but I'm the only one here, and I'm missing you. It's a record of a ghost of a time when your head was in mine and you were still mine. The paper is soaked and the numbers are fading, like the promises made and the love that's decaying. A crumpled up heart in a puddle of ink, watching us vanish before I can blink. I remember the way you laughed at the price of the extra dessert and the advice you gave to the cook about the way he fried the fries. I can still see the spark in those hazel eyes, but now the date at the top says it's over and done, and the table for two has been narrowed to one. I'm tracing the total with a trembling hand, trying to figure out where we fell through the sand. Now there's tears on a receipt for a dinner for two, but I'm the only one here, and I'm missing you. It's a record of a ghost of a time when your head was in mine and you were still mine. The paper is soaked and the numbers are fading, like the promises made and the love that's decaying. A crumpled up heart in a puddle of ink, watching us vanish before I can blink. I could leave it on the table and walk away, pretend that tomorrow won't feel like today, but it's the last thing I have that says you were real, before the silence is all that I feel. I'll pay the bill with a heavy heart and tear this little scrap of us apart, but the stain stays behind on the wood of the table. I tell you I'm fine, but I'm just not able. Tears on a just a memory I can't keep. I still pick up the phone at 2 a.m., tracing the pattern of your name again. I hit the green light just to feel the rush of the static air and the heavy hush. I know the math, I know the truth, but I'm still searching for a piece of youth. And the 3 short beats before the line goes dead, and all the things I should have said. Now I'm just whispering to a dial tone in a house that's quiet, in a skin that's cold, asking the wire where the magic went. Count the hours of a life misspent. It's a one-way prayer to a ghost in the air. I'm talking to someone who isn't there, just me in the home of the world moving on, whispering to a dial tone. Your voicemail greeting is a holy place, the only way I get to touch your face. I hold my breath so I don't interrupt the way you laugh before the beep erupts. Then the silence hits like a falling glass, watching the minutes and the memories pass. I tell you about my day, the rain, the cat, knowing damn well you won't talk back. Yeah, I'm just whispering to a dial tone in a house that's quiet, in a skin that's cold, asking the wire where the magic went. Counting the hours of a life misspent. It's a one-way prayer to a ghost in the air. I'm talking to someone who isn't there, just me in the hum of the world moving on, whispering to a dial tone. Is there a signal in the stars, a satellite that knows just where you are? Or am I just screaming at a plastic shell while I'm locked inside this ringing hell? Hello? Hello? Are you still there? Only the frequency fills the air. but I still call it when I'm feeling nervous. I say I love you to the empty space, then I hang up and wait for the echo to fade. Just a dial tone. I'm still sitting at the table where the coffee's gone cold, tracing outlines of the stories that we never got to hold. I found a receipt in my pocket from the night in July, back when forever didn't feel like a beautiful lie. The silence in this kitchen is a heavy kind of gray. It's the echo of the things that we were too afraid to say. I'm replaying the tapes, I'm rewinding the scenes, searching for the moment where we ran out of dreams. The air is still thick with the ghost of your name, and I'm standing here holding the ash and the flame. Now I'm just living in the leftover conversations. The how was your day and the soft vibration, the half-finished sentences hanging in the air, the I'll be right back when you're no longer there. I'm sweeping suffocation, caught in the wreckage of our leftover conversations. Your toothbrush is gone, but your scent's on the glass, a fragile reminder of a love meant to pass. I checked my old voicemails just to hear how you sound, before the weight of the goodbye pulled us into the ground. I've got questions for the pillow, I've got pleas for the wall, but the hardest part of losing you is hearing nothing at all. Did you mean it when you said we'd be fine? Was the I love you just a way to kill time? I'm editing the ending, I'm changing the script, but the page is still empty and the anchor has slipped. I'm talking to the space where you used to sleep, counting all the promises we couldn't quite keep. a ghost I don't know anymore. Just leftovers, just whispers. I'm still waiting for the rest of the sentence. The coffee's still steaming in your favorite blue mug, but the steam doesn't reach for the ceiling today. I reach for your hand, just a ghost of a tug, but the air in the kitchen has nothing to say. I'm still making breakfast for two out of habit. Then I stare at the plate until the eggs turn to stone. There's a silence so loud, I just wanna grab it and scream that I'm tired of being alone. Now there's a hollow shape just like your friend in the space where you sat, in the sound of your name. The cushion is rising where you used to lean. The cruelest distance I've ever seen. It's not just the quiet, it's the weight of the air in the space where you sat, and you're no longer there. The indentation on your side of the bed is a map of a country I can't visit now. I'm replaying every last word that we said, searching for why and searching for how. I left your old jacket hung up on the door. It still smells like cedar and rain on the street, but it's just empty fabric. It's not you anymore, and the us that we were is a ghost I won't meet. I try to sit there to fill up the void, to fix every memory my heart has destroyed. But the angles are wrong and the shadows are cold, and I'm just a story that's already told. I'm reaching for nothing, I'm grasping at light in a house that got bigger and darker tonight. Yeah, there's a hollow shape just like your frame in the space where you sat, in the sound of your name. The cushion is rising where you used to lean. The cruelest distance I've ever seen. It's not just the quiet, it's the weight of the air in the space where you sat, and you're no longer there. The dust settles down in the shafts of the sun, on the chair by the window where we used to be one. now it's just wood, and it's just velvet plea. It's just an empty, heartbroken sea. Just a space, just a space where you sat. I found a blue pen in the junk drawer downstairs, the one that she used to sign always in yours. I'm back at the table, just pulling up chairs for the ghosts of the secrets we kept behind doors. I'm writing down things that I never could say, like how the house feels like it's holding its breath, how the gold in the sunlight has turned into gray. A love and a memory feels like a death. My hand is shaking, the ink starts to bleed on a list of the things that I no longer need. I'm pouring my soul on a wide ruled page just to lock it away in a paper cage. These are letters for the trash can, words for a heart that I don't understand. I'm folding the misuse and please come back home into paper airplanes that sink like they're stones. You'll never read them and I'll never send. They're just broken lines for a broken orphan. Yeah, I'm letting go the best way I can, with love letters for the trash can. I wrote about Tuesday, the way that you laughed, and the way that the wind used to whistle through halls. I filled up the margins, I worked on the draft, and I'm right that we watched all the paint peel from walls. But there isn't a stamp that can reach where you are, and there isn't a mailbox for gone for good. I'm wishing on ink instead of a star, doing the things that I swore I never would. Crinkle the paper paper flag. Goodbye on a scrap